Continuing our reading in Ragweed and Poppy by Avi, today is Chapter 4, In the Gully. Having landed on his belly, the raccoon lay there. "I did it!" he cried. "I got off the train. Did you see me, Mouse? I flew through the air like a bird." There was no response. "Hey, Ragweed Mouse!" cried Lotar. "Where'd you go? Did you leave me?" Not moving, the raccoon looked around. The train was gone, and there was no sign of Ragweed. "Did you go back on the train?" Lotar listened hard. All he heard was a tiny muffled but couldn't grasp where the sound came from. He continued to lie there. "Mouse!" he called. "I hope you didn't go away. You're my best friend." There was no reply, although Lotar felt an uncomfortable tickle on his belly. Came the small sound again. Lotar felt a sharp pinch. "Ow!" he cried, leaped up, and looked down. There on the pebbly ground lay Ragweed. What are you doing there?" asked Lotar. "Dude, you landed on top of me." "Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. That was the first time I ever flew. I haven't learned to land yet, really," said Lotar. "You're my best friend. In fact, you're my only friend except for Mama. But she's not a friend. She's my Mama, which is way better. And you're going to find her. Thank you. I love you. We'll never leave each other again. Best friends forever." He bent over and gave Ragweed a wet lick. Saying nothing, Ragweed pushed himself up, wiped the raccoon's spittle off his face, and stared down the tracks. The train was out of sight. Ragweed turned to consider Lotar. "Seriously," he finally said, "I only want to help you find your mother. You're much too big to be my friend." You think I'm big? Wait till you see Mama," said Lotar. "She's huge, much bigger than me, the strongest raccoon in the world. And but sometimes," Lotar added in a whisper, "she gets mad at me." "No kidding," mumbled Ragweed. He stared down the empty tracks, thinking, "I have to get rid of this raccoon." "Come on," said Lotar. "Let's go find Mama." He clapped his paws together and put his face close to Ragweed. "I'm the baby. You're the older and smarter. My best and only friend, so you're in charge. Okay, let's go. I'll follow you back to Mama." Ragweed gazed down the long gully where the tracks ran. It was steep with many woody branches growing out of it. He looked up. Above the gully, he could see treetops. "Fine," said Ragweed. "That's forest up there. It's where you came from, right?" "Maybe." "For starters," said Ragweed, we need to get out of this gully. Being on these tracks is not, safe. Once we're up there in that forest, we can start looking for your Mama. Follow me." Without further ado, Ragweed started to climb, all but running up the gully bottom, scooting from rock to rock between branch roots, climbing outcroppings. Once he reached the top, he looked back down. Lotar was still sitting on the tracks at the bottom of the gully. "Come on, raccoon!" cried Ragweed. "Get up here!" Lotar tried to follow Ragweed, but every time he climbed up some, he tumbled to the bottom. He did this 5 times. After the 5th time, he sat back, looking befuddled. Sitting between the train tracks, he peered up at Ragweed, who was gazing down at him. "I can't do it," he cried. "How'd you get down?" asked Ragweed. "I fell down. Do you know what? I think you should come down here and push me up." "Impossible." "Can you pull me up?" "No way." "I have another idea." "What?" said a frustrated Ragweed. "I'll wait here. You go find Mama and tell her to come. She's a whole lot stronger than you. She'll get me up." "Raccoon!" cried Ragweed. "I have no idea where she is. Besides, waiting down there isn't smart. If a train comes, you'll be popcorn pieces." Lotar became alarmed. "Will the train come?" "I don't know, but it'll be a whole lot safer if you were up here." The raccoon didn't move. Ragweed leaned over the gully edge and looked up and down the tracks. Not far along to the right, the gully appeared to flatten out. If Lotar went there, Ragweed decided He should be able to get out of the gully with ease. Walk down that way, he called, pointing. You'll be able to get out. I'll stay up here. Now flick your fast switch on forward. With that, Ragweed began to walk along the top edge of the gully. Lothar down below followed, ambling along inside the railroad tracks. Ragweed continued to gaze at the tracks up and down. Sure enough, in the far distance, in the direction they were heading, he saw something. He stopped and stared. Hey, baby brain, Ragweed cried. Another train is coming this way. Where? Cried Lothar, instantly full of panic. Where should I go? I don't see it. Is it going to hurt me? Raccoon, you need to get out of there fast. Double down on the upswing. Which way? Up? Down? Sideways? Help! Move it or you'll never again move in the worst way. Full of fright, Lothar reached high, grabbed a branch growing out of the gully wall, pulled himself up, all the while shoving desperately with his rear legs. That's it, cried Ragweed, keeping an eye along the track. The train was coming along swifter. Faster! Unnerved, the raccoon continued to climb whatever he could and moved higher. As the approaching train drew closer, a shrill warning whistle shrieked. You're doing it, cried Ragweed. Keep coming! Don't slide back! Lothar clutched branch after branch while kicking with his back legs until he reached the top of the gully. Once there, Ragweed took hold of the raccoon's claws, clung to them, and pulled back with all his strength. The raccoon came up and plopped over the lip of the gully. Down below, the train roared past. As the ground trembled, Lothar squeezed his eyes shut, clapped his paws over his ears, and breathed rapidly. What followed was nothing but a dusty silence. Lothar remained still, eyes shut. Mouse, he whispered, am I still alive? Dude, you made it. Lothar opened his eyes and looked all around. Wow, he said. You know what? What? I'm the bravest raccoon in the world. First I jumped down, then I climbed up. An irritated Ragweed said nothing, only turned around to see where they had come. On one side was a gully, the train tracks. On the other side was nothing but trees. Ragweed waved toward the forest. Does any of this look familiar? Lothar sat up and looked around. Sort of. What part? The trees. Ragweed sighed. How about describing where your mother lives? Well, there are all these big rocks piled one on top of another, so it makes a kind of hole. We live in that hole. That is dark and cozy. That's all I know. Try smelling. Does your mother smell? Sure she does, said Lothar. I love her smell. It's sweet and warm. He lifted his nose and sniffed. Once, twice, 3 times. Anything? That way, maybe. Ragweed went in among the trees. Lothar shuffled after him. Stay in charge, Ragweed told himself. Find his mother. That should get you near Dimwood Forest. Now boom your bones and rip the road. And that's the end of chapter 4.